What's going on, y'all? It's TKJ. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you for stopping by, man. Today I'm doing a realistic rebuild of the Portland Trail Blazers, who obviously have been in the headlines as of late. I'm sure you guys already know by now, Damian Lillard has requested a trade after 11 years with the team. Are they going to send Dame to Miami, which he says is the only place he wants to play for? Is it going to be a 3-team trade? Are they going to trade him somewhere else entirely? I'm not too sure. Honestly, man, I don't really envy Portland's GM right now, but I guess I'm going to step into his shoes today. The goal here is to win a championship within the first 3 seasons. If I can't do it during that time, then the video won't end until eventually I do. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't, man. We just hit 2,000 subs on this channel. Thank you guys so much for that. And if you still haven't hit that button, I'd really appreciate it if you could. But anyways, man, without any further ado, it's time to get into this video.
Let's get it.
All right, man, let's get things started with what you guys want to see the most. Here is my Damian Lillard trade. I'm going to send him to Miami, man. That's where he says he wants to play. He's been loyal to Portland for the last 11 years, man. It only makes sense to do right by him. But with that being said, man, I don't really like what Miami can give me as a return package. I mean, Tyler Hero is cool, don't get me wrong, but we already have Scoot Henderson, we have Anthony Simons, we have Shaedon Sharpe. The last thing we need is another guard on this team. So we're actually going to make this a 3-team trade, and I'm going to include the Brooklyn Nets here. It's a lot to unpack, bro. But let me go ahead and try to break this down as best as I can. I think we're just going to do this team by team here. So for the Portland Trail Blazers, they're trading Damian Lillard and Jusuf Nurkic for Caleb Martin, Nicholas Claxton, and Ben Simmons. Obviously, the big get here is Nicholas Claxton, man. Like I said, we don't really need any guards, guys like Tyler Hero, but what we do need is a center of the future, and I think Nicholas Claxton can definitely be that guy. He's a 6'11" center, 24 years old, fits our new timeline, and the stats aren't actually updated here. I don't know why that's the case here in 2K, but he actually averaged 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks while shooting 71% from the floor. Of course, I round up around here. He had a really good season last year with the Nets, and I definitely think he can be our center of the future. He's a really good rim protector. He's a great rim runner as well. I can already picture him catching alley-oops from Scoot Henderson, man. I think that's going to be super exciting. He's definitely better than anything I can get from Miami, that's for sure. The Blazers are also going to get Ben Simmons, and I know that contract is scary. $37.9 million this season, but it will be an expiring contract next season. So honestly, man, it's not that high of a risk. I mean, he was an All-NBA 13 selection in 2020. It wasn't that long ago. If he shows some promise, then we can definitely bring him back after this contract, obviously on a smaller deal. And if not, we'll just let him walk. It's really that simple. And then we're also going to get Caleb Martin, who isn't really a young prospect, 27 years old, but he looked really good during the Heat's playoff run, man. Maybe there's something here. If not, he's on a really good deal, a little bit under 7 M's this season, and then a player option for next season that's a little bit over 7 M's. I think worst case scenario, he's just going to provide some really nice wing depth off the bench. That's a pretty good addition here in this trade. And also, man, if you're Portland, getting off Nurkic's contract is definitely going to be a plus here. He's going to be making a little bit under 19.5 by the time he's 30 years old, 3 seasons from now. And I just think whether we're looking to compete right now or looking to rebuild, Nurkic really doesn't fit either timeline. I think regardless of if we want to be good or bad right now, we just need a center who can actually anchor us. You know, defense has been a struggle there in Portland, and obviously Jusuf Nurkic is not the best defender. So to me, man, getting off his contract and bringing in Nicholas Claxton as an upgrade, that sets us up really well for the future, where we're going to have Scoot Henderson, we'll have Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Nicholas Claxton, and then a whole lot of other young guys like Nazir Little, Chris Murray, guys like that. I think that's a really nice young core here in Portland, so I think this trade does work out for us. Then for the Miami Heat, there's not much to say here. I mean, they're getting Damian Lillard. They made the finals last season. They're trying to get over the hump and win a championship. Now they're bringing in one of the top point guards in the league. This is obviously a no-brainer. They got to give up Tyler Hero, so they're mortgaging their future a little bit. It is what it is. They're getting off Duncan Robinson's contract, so that's nice. And then they do have to give up Caleb Martin. I know there's been some reports that he's one of those guys that Heat would prefer to keep out of this trade, but no disrespect, man. If Caleb Martin is a deal breaker on a Damian Lillard trade, you throw him into that trade without any hesitation. I don't think there's any doubt Miami would take this trade. It definitely makes sense for them. And then for Brooklyn, man, I know Nets fans aren't going to want to give up Nicholas Claxton, but at the end of the day, you got to remember the Nets actually don't have their own picks in 2024 or 2026. Those actually belong to the Houston Rockets from that James Harden trade a few seasons ago. So it really does them no good to be bad this season. You know, they're not going to tank, get the worst record in the league, get a really good draft pick, nothing like that. They're still looking to be competitive, man. And when it comes to this trade, I think they do get better. I mean, you're getting Tyler Hero and Jusuf Nurkic while also getting off of Ben Simmons' contract. After we pull off this trade, their starting lineup is going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, Tyler Hero, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and then also Jusuf Nurkic. That's a pretty decent starting lineup, man. And you still got like Dorian Finney-Smith off the bench. You got Cam Thomas, Royce O'Neal, Lonnie Walker IV, who they just signed in free agency. Then you also got a couple rookies that you brought in, Noah Clowney and also Derek Whitehead. That's definitely a team that can make the playoffs this season, and it's also set up pretty well for the future. I think this trade works out for Brooklyn as well. Let me know what you guys think about this trade, man. Again, is it a perfect one? No, not quite, but I really do want to send Dame to Miami, man. That's where he says he wants to play. I'm trying to do right by him. So all things considered, I think we're getting a pretty decent return here. The question is, will 2K allow me to pull this trade off, man? Because if you guys don't know, it's extremely difficult to do 3-team trades in this game. I don't really know what that's all about, but let's go ahead and give it a shot, man. Can we pull this thing off? Let's go ahead and find out here, and we can. Damian Lillard, thank you for your service. And you know what, man? I'm not done with this offseason just yet. I'm going to try to send Anthony Simons and a 2027 first round pick that is unprotected to the Toronto Raptors for OG Anunoby Anunoby and Malachi Flynn. Don't get me wrong, man, I got nothing against Anthony Simons. However, I just think he's going to be the odd man out in this situation. To me, our backcourt of the future is Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe. I probably could roll with like Scoot Henderson at the 1, Anthony Simons at the 2, and Shaedon Sharpe at the 3. But to me, man, that's kind of repeating the same mistakes that Portland has made in previous years, where they really haven't had like a true, good size, defensive-minded small forward. They try to roll with guys like Norman Powell, guys like Gary Trent Jr., even guys like Josh Hart, who is a good defender, but doesn't have the best size. I just want to change things up, man, and OG Anunoby would be a really good 3-and-D small forward. He's 26 years old, he's an elite defender, and he also shot 39% from deep last season, man. We round up around here. I really do think he complement our young backcourt of Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe well, so that's why I think this trade makes sense for us. And it's kind of tough to gauge what Toronto wants to do, man, because they still want to be competitive, but I do think they should hit the reset button. Either way, though, I think this trade helps them do a little bit of both, you know. Their starting lineup as of right now will be Anthony Simons, Gary Trent Jr., Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl. There's been a lot of reports that they think they could follow the same path as the Miami Heat, a team that doesn't do too well in the regular season but is able to make the NBA Finals. Well, on paper, that roster is just as good, if not better, than the one Miami had last season. And if they do want to hit the reset button, well, they can do that too after this trade. You know, they're going to have Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Gary Trent Jr., Precious Achiuwa, Grady Dick, who they just picked 13th overall in this past year's draft. All of those guys are under 25 years old, man. I think this trade gives them a little bit of everything here, so it makes sense to me. Let's go and see if we can pull this thing off, man. Will they say yes to this deal? They want a second round pick. They'll give me Otto Porter Jr. He's on an expiring deal. That's fine by me, man. OG Anunoby, welcome to the team. So we've already done a lot this offseason with our 2 trades, man, but I do want to make one free agency signing here. I'm going to try to get John Wall as my backup point guard. Obviously, in his prime, he was one of the most athletic, dynamic guards in the league. I'm not expecting bro to get back to anything near that level. Obviously, he's 32 years old at this point. But if we're talking mentors for other really athletic guards like Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, I mean, it doesn't get any better than John Wall, man. I think he'd be a really good addition here. A nice mentor for the young guys. So let's go ahead and try to pull off this deal, man. 1 year, 7.5. Will he say yes to this thing? And it looks like he will. There we go. So that was a pretty crazy offseason, man, but I think we really are set up well for the future. Taking a look at player progression, Nicholas Claxton went up 1 to an 85. Jeremy Grant went up 1 to an 83. His contract is pretty interesting, man. I'll get into that here in a second when I do my rotation breakdown, 3-year game plan, all that fun stuff. But anyways, man, we also got Shaedon Sharpe up 3 to a 79. That's a really good sign. John Wall down 1 to a 78. I mean, he's 32 years old. That's cool by me. Nazir Little up 2 to a 77. And yeah, man, Keon Johnson up 2 to a 73. Jabari Walker up 1 to a 72. It's a really young team, man. We definitely are starting to hit the reset button here in Portland. Finally, I think it's taken us long enough. Honestly, we should have done this years ago. Let's head into season 1 and get into this rotation breakdown. All right, man, so taking a look at the team, at the 1 we got Scoot Henderson, obviously the face of our franchise. I just did a Charlotte Hornets rebuild as a part of my recent series that I've been doing, where I rebuild all the lottery teams. And just like I said in that video, man, I'm so surprised the Hornets went with Brandon Miller instead of Scoot Henderson. If we're just talking potential, man, Scoot Henderson can definitely be a franchise player one day. And I can't say the same about Brandon Miller, man. No knock on him. I think he's going to be good. But to me, man, Scoot is definitely the guy who I'd rather build my franchise around, so I'm super excited that he's here in Portland. He's built like a tank. He's really good driving to the rim, super athletic, a really good facilitator. The mid-range shot is underrated. 3-point shot continues to improve as well. And at only 19 years old, man, best believe he's going to be safe for this entire video. That kind of goes without saying. And the same can be said about Shaedon Sharpe. He was the 7th overall pick in 2022. And I think even on draft night, man, everybody knew that his ceiling wasn't going to be as high as anybody else in the class. He was one of the top prospects coming out of high school, but he didn't actually play at Kentucky. It was a personal decision. He just thought it'd be better if he worked out on his own and prepared for the NBA draft. It was definitely an interesting decision, man. I think that's why he fell a little bit to number 7, but still, man, he's super athletic. He's a pure scorer, and I think he did look pretty good as a rookie. The stats are a little misleading here. He averaged 10 points per game last season, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. We round up around here. Shot 36% from deep, which we'll definitely take. But it's the way he closed out the regular season that really got a lot of people excited. The Blazers shut down Damian Lillard. They were already tanking, trying to get a better pick, so they really just unleashed Shaedon Sharpe, man. They let him do his own thing, and it definitely worked out. He averaged 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in his last 10 games, and that's what I'm trying to bring out of him on a nightly basis, man. He's going to be our starting shooting guard. He's going to get every opportunity in the world, and hopefully he can make the most of it, man. I think he really can thrive, especially alongside Scoot Henderson. That backcourt is going to be so much fun to watch. I'm really excited about that. And just like Scoot, man, it goes without saying, Shaedon Sharpe is definitely going to be safe for this entire video. Then we got OG Anunoby. I talked about him during the trade. I think he's going to be the perfect fit at the 3 spot. Portland really has not had a small forward with good size, good defense, and a good 3-point shot since what, like Al-Farouq Aminu? It's been a while, man, so I think OG Anunoby is going to be a great fit here. My only concern is that we probably are going to have to pay him this offseason. He's making 18.64 M's this season, but he's got a player option next year for just under 20 M's. I'm pretty sure he will decline that, so I'm hoping he doesn't ask for too much money, man, but either way, we just gave up Anthony Simons and a first-round pick for him. I mean, we definitely are going to try to bring him back. I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. But yeah, man, I'm super excited about this fit here. One thing I'm not so excited about, though, is Jeremy Grant. Let me give some context here, man. I like Jeremy Grant. If you guys watch my realistic rebuilds, you know I trade for him all the time. I think he's a really underrated wing player. He can defend multiple positions. He shoots the 3-ball really well. I mean, taking a look at his stats last season, man, he averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, shot 40% from deep as a power forward. Like, come on, bro. What team would not want that? But the big concern is obviously his contract, bro. He just got absolutely paid by the Portland Trail Blazers. 5 years, $160 million, bro. He's going to be getting paid $35 mil just about by the time he's 33 years old. And while it's already not a great contract, man, at the time, I was okay with it because, hey, they were still trying to be competitive. They had Damian Lillard on the team. They were trying to build a championship team around him. But little did we know, man, the very next day, Dame requested a trade. And just like that, man, it makes no sense for Portland to be paying this amount of money for Jeremy Grant when they're starting to look towards the future. Now, obviously, they still decided to honor the contract. I mean, they offered it to him. He accepted it. I mean, they weren't going to take it off the table. But still, man, this contract was already not that great. And it's even worse now that we're starting to hit the reset button. I love me some Jeremy Grant, man, but at some point, we definitely are going to have to move on from him, especially because we're going to have to pay OG Anunoby soon. We're going to have to pay Nicholas Claxton as well. I'll get into that here in a second. We also have Ben Simmons in the mix. I mean, we're going to be a pretty expensive team, man. So Jeremy Grant probably is going to be the odd man out. It just is what it is. Speaking of Nicholas Claxton, though, he is our starting center, man, our center of the future. And we are going to have to pay him this offseason. He's on an expiring deal, 8.75. Best believe he's going to ask for a whole lot more than that. Either way, though, best believe I'm going to do everything I can to bring back Nicholas Claxton. I mean, obviously, he was the main guy we got back in our Damian Lillard trade. So he definitely is going to be safe for this video, man. I think he's a really good fit at the 5 spot for us. He's a defensive-minded center, man, which is going to be a nice change of pace from Jusuf Nurkic. And I think he's going to be really exciting alongside guys like Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe. So that's going to be cool to see. Then out the bench, you got Caleb Martin. I talked about him a little bit as well. He might also be somebody we have to pay this offseason, man. 7.13 M's. That's his player option. I know for sure he's going to decline that in real life because obviously his stock has increased from his playoff run. Maybe he'll decline it here in 2K. I'm not too sure. But either way, I would like to keep him around if I can, unless he's asking for too much money, because he could provide some nice depth for us, man. I do have him as a backup small forward / shooting guard. I mean, he's 6'5". He's a good shooter. Like, it makes sense. I know he was listed as a power forward with the Miami Heat, kind of out of necessity. But yeah, man, I think he'll be solid off the bench for us again, as long as bro isn't asking for too much money, because if he is, then we're probably going to have to let him walk. It's really that simple. Then we got Ben Simmons, man, and this is an interesting one, because that contract, it's a lot of money. And now that I think about it, man, we probably will have to move him at the trade deadline, just because we do got to pay Nicholas Claxton. We'll probably have to pay OG Anunoby as well. We already got Jeremy Grant on the books. Like, it's going to be an expensive team. As much as I would like to try out the Ben Simmons experiment in Portland, man, if we're trying to save money, I think he might get moved. But until that happens, man, I'm going to give him some PT off the bench. Hopefully he can boost his stock, so that way once we reach the trade deadline, he'll have a little bit more interest from other teams. That's pretty much the way I'm trying to play this. Then we got Nazir Little off the bench. He was a 25th overall pick in 2019, 23 years old. He's looked pretty solid over the years, man. Nothing too crazy. Last season, he averaged 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 36% from deep, which we definitely will take, especially as a 6'5" power forward / small forward. Like, you got to be able to space the floor, and I think he's been doing a pretty good job of that. We're definitely going to need a power forward of the future when we do move on from Jeremy Grant, whenever that is. Maybe Nazir Little can be that guy. I'm not too sure. I'm definitely not convinced, but he is going to be a candidate along guys like Chris Murray as well, who we just got in this year's draft. It's just going to be a matter of who progresses the most, man. That's all it's going to come down to. We also got John Wall at the bench. I already talked about him, but yeah, I think he's going to be a really nice mentor for Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, guys like that. Outside of mentorship, man, I'm not expecting a whole lot, like in terms of production on the floor. I just needed a backup point guard, man. I think it'll be pretty solid for us. And then the last guy in our 10-man rotation is Chris Murray, who we got with the 23rd overall pick in this past year's draft. 23 years old, man. Obviously the twin brother of Keegan Murray, who's on the Sacramento Kings. And if Chris Murray looks anything like Keegan Murray, man, I would be very excited. You know, obviously they got similar games. He's a really good 3-point shooter, a good defender. He hustles, man, but he also plays with a good pace, good composure. You know, that comes with being an older rookie, a multi-year guy at Iowa. And like I said, man, we kind of got an open competition for our power forward of the future. Chris Murray definitely is going to be in the running, man. We'll just see how he progresses. Then we got some more guys outside the rotation who will kind of just breeze through here. We got Otto Porter Jr., and I'm not expecting a whole lot here. Bro just can't stay healthy, man. He played 8 games last season, 63 with the Warriors. That definitely is the outlier. But other than that, man, just hasn't been able to stay on the floor consistently. So he's not in our rotation, and he's also 30 years old, so obviously he's not a part of our future plans. He's on an expiring deal. We probably just won't bring him back this offseason. It's really that simple. Then we got Ram Rupert, who we got in the 2nd round of this past year's draft. He's a raw prospect, man. He's really good around the rim, really good in transition, but everything else about his game definitely does need some work, and that's totally fine, man. I'm not going to try to rush him. You know, he's going to have plenty of time to try to progress outside the rotation. I'll probably even send him to the G League this season. But yeah, man, it's kind of like a low risk, high reward type of thing. If he turns out to be a nice role role player off the bench, and that would be great. But if not, then it is what it is. I mean, he's only a second round pick, so I'm not too worried about it. Then we got Malachi Flynn, who was a part of that OG Anunoby trade, 25 years old. I probably am going to be looking for a backup point guard next season because I doubt we'll bring back John Wall. So maybe Malachi Flynn can be that guy if he progresses a little bit. But honestly, man, 25 years old, 73 overall. I doubt his ceiling is too high, at least here in 2K. So we're probably going to get somebody else as our backup point guard. I doubt Malachi Flynn will ever crack our rotation. No disrespect. Then we got another two young guys here. Keon Johnson, 21st overall pick in 2021. He actually might be our backup point guard once we get rid of John Wall. But again, man, it's going to come down to progression. He's going to have to go up to like a 76 overall if he wants to crack our rotation. If not, then he's not going to get any PT. And finally, our last guy is Jabari Walker. He was a second round pick in 2022. He didn't play a whole lot this past season, man. And just like Keon Johnson and a lot of these other guys, if he progresses, then he might get some PT, man. But if not, he's not going to be a part of our future plans. But speaking of future plans, man, let's go ahead and take a look at our 3-year game plan for season number 1. It's very simple. We already checked it off the list. Trade Damian Lillard, more specifically trade him to Miami, man, and we managed to get that done. Again, just trying to do right by him since he was so loyal to us. I'm really glad we were able to make that happen. Then for season 2, man, re-sign our starters, Nicholas Claxton, OG Anunoby. We just traded for him, man. I definitely don't want it to be a 1-year rental, so I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure I bring him back. That's probably going to mean moving on from a guy like Ben Simmons, maybe Jeremy Grant. We'll go ahead and see how that plays out. And then for season 3, man, buy if competitive. It might take us like 4 or 5 years to win a championship. I'm not too sure. But if we get to year 3 and we're looking pretty good, then maybe I'll make some moves to win right now. We'll just see how that goes. But anyways, man, that's a look at the 3-year game plan. Let's go ahead and finally get into simming here. We're just going to sim to the trade deadline and then probably move on from Ben Simmons. I think that is the game plan. And also, I forgot to mention our pick in this upcoming draft is top 14 protected. If it does land in the top 14, it's going to go to the Bulls. So hopefully we're like a middle of the pack team, man. I would really love to keep my pick, but we'll see how that plays out, man. Without any further ado, let's finally get into simming here. Alright, man, so we're here at the trade deadline and we're exactly 500, 27 and 27. We've got the 13th worst record in the league, so we're right on that border of keeping our pick or not. Hopefully we do win a couple games, man, because I really would like to keep my pick. But anyways, man, let's go ahead and try to find a trade here for Ben Simmons. Has he boosted his draft stock? It does not look like it. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, shooting about 57% from the floor, and not making any shots from deep. Yeah, man, it's nothing crazy here, but either way, I really do want to try to find a trade for him. So let me go ahead and do that, I guess, man. Let me look around and see what's out there. So here's what I'm thinking, man. I'm trying to send Ben Simmons to the Charlotte Hornets for Gordon Hayward straight up. I actually did make Ben Simmons a small forward here, so his overall went up a little bit. It's a bit of a cheat code, I know, but I mean, that's the position he would be playing with the Hornets, so I guess it makes sense. And speaking of Charlotte, man, why not take a flyer on Ben Simmons? They got the cap space, and they're also probably going to be looking for a power forward. I don't think they're going to bring back Miles Bridges next season. He's on a 1-year deal. You guys know everything that's been going on with him. So why not buy low on Ben Simmons, man? If it doesn't work out, it's only a 2-year deal. Again, they got the cap space, so I guess it makes sense, man. He can be a nice secondary facilitator, take some of the passing pressure off of LaMelo Ball. He can also be a versatile defender, and you're only giving up Gordon Hayward. Not like that's a whole lot, so I do think this trade makes sense for them. And then for us, man, Gordon Hayward is on an expiring deal. That's the only reason why I want him. I'm just trying to save some money for this offseason, so let's go and see if we can pull this thing off straight up, man. No picks, no nothing, and they say yes. There we go. Gordon Hayward, welcome to the team. All right, man, so now that we got that trade done, let's get back to simming here. Again, hopefully we get to retain our pick, but let's go ahead and see how that plays out. Alright, man, so we finished 41 and 41. Not sure where we finished in the standings. We'll find that out here in a second. Trae Young MVP. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this here. Do we have anything that concerns us? Don't really think so. Yeah, not a surprise. Taking a look at the All-NBA teams. Anything here for the Blazers? Let's go ahead and see. We should be getting like, yeah, all rookie first team for Scoot Henderson. That definitely makes sense. And also Chris Murray, man, that's pretty surprising. I think he got what, like 14, 15 minutes per game, something like that. So for him to be on the first team is really good. We'll take a better look at the stats here in a second. But yeah, that's a really encouraging sign. Man, this is going to be close. We're actually tied for the 15th worst record in the league, or I guess 15th best. We're right in the middle of the pack, but I'm not really sure how those tiebreakers work. So are we going to keep our pick? Are we not? I'm not too sure. I guess we'll find that out once we get into the offseason. But we are here in the play-in. We're the number 10 seed going up against the Utah Jazz. I guess that's pretty cool. A little play-in experience. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats though. So Scoot Henderson led the way, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. How did he shoot from deep? That's really what I'm interested in. And 34%, bro. Honestly, we will take that. I thought it'd be worse. You know, he's still working on his 3-point shot. So 34%, just a little bit below league average. I'll definitely take that. But Shaedon Sharpe was knocking those things down, man. We like to see that. Taking a look at his stats here, he averaged 18 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, round up around here. Jeremy Grant averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Again, I think he will get traded at some point, but for right now, those are pretty good numbers, man. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of teams who will want to trade for him once we eventually do that. Taking a look at OG Anunoby, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. It looks like he's doing his thing on the defensive side of the ball. And how is he shooting from deep? 37%, man. We will take that. yeah, man, overall, I mean, we got a lot of guys who are trending in the right direction. Nicholas Claxton averaged 10 points, 10 rebounds, round up around here, so a double-double. That's nice to see. And here's our other all-rookie first-team selection, man. Chris Murray, this was a surprise. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block also. And how did he shoot from deep? 38%. We'll definitely take that, man. But now that we're in the play-in, man, I definitely want to win some games, make it to the playoffs. Maybe that'll help us retain our pick. Honestly, I'm not too sure how that works. But anyways, man, we did make this a 9-man rotation. Pretty much just some more minutes for the starters, not so much for the bench. Let's see if we can beat the Jazz, man. We're going to take a quick look at the matchup here, as it looks like they got Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, Draymond Green now in the mix. That's interesting. And then Walker Kessler. Okay. All right, man. Let's go ahead and just sim through game normally here, and we got eliminated. That's so tough, bro. I don't think we're going to retain our pick, man, which is very disappointing. But anyways, let's go ahead and sim this whole playoffs here. Now none of this really matters to me. And it's going to be the Kings and the Celtics. All right. They didn't think the Kings would be here. That's pretty interesting. And they almost won it, but it's the Celtics who win in 7 games. Jason Tatum, Finals MVP. Shout out to him. All right, man, it's time for the moment of truth. We're here in the lottery, and it looks like our pick is going to go number 13 at least. Yeah, man, we're not going to retain this pick. That's so brutal, bro. Taking a look at this thing here, it is number 13. Man, I really wanted to retain that pick, but it looks like it's going to go to the Bulls, man. It is what it is. Let's skip the draft and go to free agency. So OG Anunoby decided to decline his player option, man. That's not too much of a surprise. We're probably going to have to pay him a decent amount this offseason. But what is surprising is Caleb Martin decided to accept his player option. Now, I think in real life, he'll probably try to get a bigger bag. But hey, man, 7.13 M's, we will definitely take that. Like I said, man, he's a nice wing player off the bench, so I'm glad he's going to be sticking around. But anyways, man, let's go to free agency and see if we can bring back Nicholas Claxton and OG Anunoby. So the first guy we got to bring back is OG, and it's a lot of money, man. 25.5 M's for 3 years. Let's see if he will say yes to this deal, and it looks like he will. There we go. Bro, you gotta be kidding me. Nicholas Claxton is not interested in negotiating with us. That's pretty brutal, bro. Okay. I was not ready for this, man. He obviously was supposed to be our center of the future. He was the main thing we got back in that Damian Lillard trade. Really one of the only things we got back, and now he doesn't want to re-sign with us, man. Bro, I think what I'm going to do is just hold out hope that he doesn't get paid this offseason. It says he's got no offers, man, and I've seen this happen a lot of times where guys just end up not getting the money they're asking for, and they end up being free agents by the time the season starts. I'm hoping that's going to happen with Claxton, man, and then maybe by then he'll be willing to negotiate with us because, yeah, man, there's not a whole lot of other options for my centers as we take a look at the available ones here. Like, yeah, man, none of these really make sense here. So I guess we're just going to hold out hope that Nicholas Claxton remains a free agent. Let's go and sim past this free agency, man, and see if he's still available. Did I not call it, man? All of free agency pass, and Nicholas Claxton is still here. Let's see if he's willing to negotiate with us now, and it looks like he is. Finally, man. All right. I took a little bit of a risk, man. I didn't sign anybody else in free agency. I would have loved to, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to save my money in case I could re-sign Nicholas Claxton, and it looks like it paid off, man. So I honestly should be trying to save my money here, but I'm going to keep it realistic. I'm going to try to sign him to a $22 million deal, 4 years. Will he say yes to this? And it looks like he will, bro. Nicholas Claxton finally is coming back to the Blazers. And taking a look at player progression, man, we got nothing but green arrows here. That's a really good sign. Scoot Henderson up 5 to an 85. Also Shaedon Sharpe up 5 to an 84. 2 really big jumps there. You'll love to see that. OG Anunoby up 2 to an 84. We'll definitely take that. Nicholas Claxton stayed put. Jeremy Grant stayed put. Honestly, he's 30 years old. I'm just glad he's not regressing. But then we got some more increases here. Nazir Little up 1 to a 78. Caleb Martin up 1 to a 77. Chris Murray, man, and Rayon Rupert, actually. Both of them up 3 to a 77. And we even got like Keon Johnson up 1 to a 74. Jabari Walker up 2 to a 74. Like, this is a really young team, man. We're definitely trending in the right direction. But let's head into season 2. We're honestly, man, I think it's time to make a little noise in the playoffs. All right, man, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to get a backup center because I don't even have one right now. I'm going to try to send Caleb Martin and 3 second-round picks to the Orlando Magic for Christian Wood. Taking a look at their roster, man, they got a whole lot of centers on the team. I think they'd much rather just have a nice backup shooting guard in Caleb Martin because right now they don't really have a backup too. And then for me, man, as much as I do like Martin, I think it's time to move on from him because Rayon Rupert is now a 77 overall, the exact same as Caleb Martin, and he's also significantly younger, 20 years old. So it's time to give him some PT, man. That's why I'm fine with doing this trade. In addition to the fact that I think Christian Wood will be a really nice backup center for us, I really want a backup 5 who can space the floor because obviously our starter Nicholas Claxton can't do that. And Christian Wood does, man. He shot 36% from deep last season, 38 the year before that, and then 39 the year before that one. And yes, he's making a decent amount of money, 16 M's this season, and then 16.77 the year after that. But honestly, I'm fine with paying that, man, because we just signed Nicholas Claxton to a long-term deal. Same for OG Anunoby. We also got Jeremy Grant on a long deal. Really, the next guy we're going to have to pay is Shaedon Sharpe, and that's not for 2 more years, which is exactly when Jeremy Grant's contract ends. So by that time, we just won't re-sign Grant. And who knows, maybe the video will even be over by then if we win a championship. So yeah, man, I think this trade works out for both teams here. Let's go ahead and see if they will say yes to this. They're saying no, that's totally fine. I got some more second round picks for you, man. I don't want to give up a first, and it looks like I don't have to. There we go. Christian Wood, welcome to the team. Now I'm looking for a backup point guard since we didn't re-sign John Wall, and I think we're going to do the same type of thing here, man. Bringing in Victor Oladipo, another guard who in his prime was super athletic, also a really good defender. I think he'd be a great mentor for like Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and he can also still produce a little bit, man. I think he'll be a decent backup point guard for us. Let's try to save a little bit of money here, man. 3.5 M's, 1 year deal. Will he say yes to this? It looks like he will. There we go. And that's the team for your team, man. We got Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, OG Anunoby, Jeremy Grant, and Nicholas Claxton. Same starting lineup. Off the bench though, now we got Christian Wood. I think he'll be nice for us. We also got Nazir Little, Chris Murray, Rayon Rupert, and Victor Oladipo. But anyways, man, let's get into simming here. Honestly, I think it's time to make some noise in the playoffs. My goal, honestly, man, is just to make it out of the first round. If we can win a playoff series, that would be really nice. But anyways, man, let's sim this regular season and see what it's looking like. Alright, man, so the boys are hooping this season, honestly, a lot more than I thought they would. 58-24, we definitely will take that. That's a great sign for us. I'm not sure where we ended up in the standings. We'll take a better look at that here in a second. Luka Doncic MVP. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this, man. Does anything here concern us? And it does not look like it. Never mind. Coach of the year, Chauncey Billups. Shout out to him, man. That's really cool to see, especially in year 2. But we didn't get exec of the year, though. That actually went to the Boston Celtics. I mean, I'm not too mad at it, man. Either way, this was a really good regular season. Taking a look at the All-NBA awards here, man. Anything for maybe like Scoot Henderson? I'm not too sure. It does not look like it. All right. That's totally fine, though. Like, how can I be mad when we're the #1 seed in the Western Conference, man? That is pretty insane. Taking a look at the stats now, man. Shaedon Sharpe led the way for us. 21 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, round up around here. And he shot 43% from deep. We definitely will take that. And we'll also take this, man. Scoot Henderson, 37% from deep, above league average. That's a really nice development. He also averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal. Yeah, man, he was doing his thing. Jeremy Grant still looking solid. Christian Wood also really nice off the bench. Nicholas Claxton still averaging a double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Come on, man. Guys are hooping this season, man. Chris Murray off the bench, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Was he shooting that thing well from deep? Yeah, he was. 46%, man. Come on now. The boys are hooping, bro. Yeah, man, I feel really good about this team. Let's go and see who we're going to face in the first round. It's going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right. Taking a look at the matchup here. They got Elliot Cadeau at the 1. Only a 74 overall, man. Scoot should definitely take advantage of that. They also got Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. It's a pretty good team, man, but I do think that we're better. Let's go ahead and take this thing game by game as we won game 1. Okay. We're up 2-0 now. 3-0. Are we really going to sweep them? No, we're not. Okay. Gentlemen sweep, though. There we go, man. Gentlemen sweep. And already we've accomplished our goal, man. I just wanted to win 1 playoff series here this season. And here we are, man, in the second round going up against the Dallas Mavericks. Let's go ahead and take a look at this matchup here. They still have their backcourt of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, but apparently they also got Buddy Hield now, Royce O'Neal, and Mitchell Robinson. That's pretty interesting. This is a pretty good team here. But let's go and see if we can beat them. Haven't even shortened the rotation just yet. And I think I probably should after losing that first game. Let me go ahead and mess around with this real quick. So here's what I'm thinking, man. I gave some more minutes to the starters. Also gave enough minutes to Christian Wood, 20 off the bench. And the rest of the guys, not so much, man. Also made it a 9-man rotation. So Victor Oladipo is no longer getting PT. I think that's about the best I can do, man. Let's go ahead and see if we can win this series here. As we win game 2, okay. We're up 2-1 now. 2-2. Please don't go down 3-2. There we go. Okay. No game 7, man. Man. All right, we got a game 7 here, and I've already messed around with the rotation, man, so there's not much else that I can do here. I guess let's just go ahead and simcast this thing and see if we can make it out of this and advance to the Western Conference Finals. That would be pretty crazy in year number 2. And it looks like we're going to do it, man. Pulling away in the third quarter. Yeah, this one is over, man. The Portland Trailblazers are heading to the Western Conference Finals. Who would have thought it, man? That's pretty insane. I'm not going to lie. But let's go ahead and get into this matchup here. We're going up against the OKC Thunder now. They got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Tobias Harris, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren. This is actually pretty ironic, man, because if we can beat them and advance to the finals, we're kind of going to be like that old OKC Thunder team. You know, they had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, super young, and they managed to make the finals. Can we follow the same path, man? Let's go ahead and find out, as we're going to go ahead and take this thing game by game. And they win the first one there. I'm sorry, we win it. We're up 2-0 now, 2-1. Okay. Did I even say the matchups and everything? I don't even know if I said all of that. I'm just surprised we even got this far, man. As let's go ahead and sim this thing. And here we are in the NBA Finals, bro. Wow. And Scoot Henderson leading the way, man, up to an 86 overall now. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, man, we're 4 wins away from a championship. This is insane. We're going up against the Boston Celtics. They're going to be really tough to beat. They got Malcolm Brogdon, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward back in Boston. That's actually pretty cool. Again, I didn't re-sign him after year 1. I just wanted to get off his contract. So I guess he went back to Boston, man. I'm not mad at it. They also got Jason Tatum and Robert Williams III. This is going to be tough, man. But let's go ahead and take this thing game by game. Can we win a championship in year number 2? That would be insane, but we're down 1-0 here. Now it's 2-0. Yeah, man. All right. This is not going to be easy. I didn't really have high hopes for this, but honestly, I didn't think we'd get this far. So like nothing would surprise me at this point. Let's go ahead and shorten the bench just a little bit here. I want to get Shaedon Sharpe up to 40. I want to get Nicholas Claxton up to like 38, and then get a little more PT here for OG Anunoby and Jeremy Grant. That's about as good as it's going to get, man. Let's go ahead and take this thing game by game. As we win that one, okay. It's 2-2. We're fighting back, man. We're up 3-2 now. Are we really going to win this thing? Let me go ahead and simcast this, man, because if we're about to win and it's close, I definitely want to jump into this. Is this back and forth here, man? Are we really about to do it? I think we are. Yeah, we're pulling away, man. Portland, we have done it, man. A championship in year 2. Wow, I'm actually at a loss for words, man. This is pretty crazy. Scoot Henderson leading the way. Finals MVP. 25 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, shot 31% from deep. That's not good, but I don't care, man. We have done it, man. I got to say, this is one of the craziest runs that I've done in any of my rebuilds. To win this championship in year 2, man, that's pretty impressive. Like, if you would have told me we traded Damian Lillard to the Miami Heat, who, by the way, just made the finals, and we won a championship before them, I would have said you're crazy, man. But here we are winning this championship in year number 2. We still got one more season, though, so let's keep this thing moving and see if we can go back to back. So we do have pick number 30 in the upcoming draft, man. It's nothing too crazy, but let's go to draft night and see what it's looking like. I say this in pretty much every single video, man, but I know nothing about these draft classes after 2023. We're already here in 2025, man, so honestly, it's just guesswork at this point. I'm going to go with Hugo Gonzalez, though. He's actually a drafting stash. 19 years old, 6'7" shooting guard / small forward. Really good size there. Apparently, he has all-star potential. Could be the Spanish version of Bradley Beal. I definitely would take that, man. Even if I do have to wait a year, that's totally fine. It probably would take a while for him to crack the rotation anyway, since we just won a championship. But yeah, man, he was the number 9 player on the board. Still here at pick number 30. Why not? Hugo Gonzalez, welcome to the Blazers. All right, man, so the only guy I had to bring back in free agency was Victor Oladipo. I just re-signed him on a 1-year veteran minimum. Nothing too crazy there. Taking a look at player progression, Scoot Henderson, man, up 5 to a 90. It even says 91 overall in the top right corner, man. That's pretty insane. Shaedon Sharpe also getting up there, man. Up 3 to an 87. We got a lot of guys stay put. That's totally fine. Rayon Rupert, though, up 3 to an 80, man. I said he was a raw prospect coming into this league, but it looks like he's starting to put it together, man. That's a really nice development. Definitely a bonus. Also, Chris Murray up 1 to a 78. We'll take that as well. Yeah, man, no regression here, which is pretty crazy. Let's head into season 3, man, where we're going to try to go back to back. That's a phrase I didn't think I'd be saying in this video, but let's get into it. And honestly, man, I don't think I have to make any changes for year 3. We got Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, OG Anunoby, Jeremy Grant, and Nicholas Claxton. Same starting lineup, man. Off the bench, we also got the same group here. Christian Wood, Rayon Rupert, Nazir Little, Chris Murray, and Victor Oladipo. I know I said I wanted to trade Jeremy Grant at some point, man, but honestly, we just won a championship. I mean, it's working out pretty well so far. So I do think I will hold on to him, man. If this was a long-term rebuild, then I probably would trade him at some point when I got to pay guys like Shaedon Sharpe, Scoot Henderson. But for this season right now, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's just run this thing back, man. We're going to sim this regular season and see what it's looking like. So the boys are hooping once again, man. We went 65-17, another step in the right direction, and another MVP for Luka Doncic. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this here. Do we have anything that concerns us? Coach of the year, yeah, there we go. Chauncey Billups, man. We definitely will take that. 2 coaches of the year in a row. Shout out to him. And we even got executive of the year. Finally, didn't get it last year, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, man, taking a look at the All-NBA teams, do we have anything here for Scoot? Yes, we do, man. I was going to say, surely we're not going to go through this whole video without an All-NBA selection for Scoot Henderson, but there it is. All-NBA second team, man. We definitely will take that. And taking a look at the rest of this year, yeah, nothing else that concerns us. That's totally fine. So we were the top seed in the Western Conference once again, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats now. Shaedon Sharpe led the way for us once again, man. 23 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. How do you shoot from deep? 48%, bro. That is insane. And even Scoot Henderson turning into a knockdown 3-point shooter, man. Who would have thought? 41%. We definitely will take that. And what a duo we got here in the backcourt, man. I said they'd be exciting, man. They definitely are living up to the hype. Scoot Henderson, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals. Come on, man. This team is crazy, bro. Jeremy Grant still doing his thing. Same for Christian Wood off the bench. He's been looking really nice, man. Even Chris Murray continues to be solid for us. Nicholas Claxton still averaging actually a little bit less than a double-double this time, but also 2 blocks, man. He's been a really nice defensive anchor at the 5. Again, that's something I think this team needed. They obviously weren't getting that with Yusuf Nurkic, and they also didn't have a really good 3-and-D small forward, man, but they definitely have that now with OG Anunoby. He's been solid, man. He doesn't have to put up a whole lot of points. Obviously, we got Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe. But yeah, man, he's just playing defense and knocking down threes, shooting 39% from deep, man. We definitely will take that. So let's see who we're going to face in the first round. It's going to be the Golden State Warriors, my Golden State Warriors. Alrighty, so they got Steph Curry, Ochai Agbaji, Ben Simmons now in the mix. Another guy who we chose not to keep, so that's interesting. He ended up in Golden State. Anyways, they also got John Collins and Precious Achiuwa. I like the Golden State Warriors, man. Like I said, that is my team. But I think they're going to lose this series as we win game 1. Okay, we're up 2-0 now. Is there going to be a clean sweep of my team, man? No, it's not. Okay, way to fight back, Golden State. But yeah, it's going to be a gentleman sweep. That's tough. All right, man, we're here in the second round going up against the San Antonio Spurs, and this is going to be tough because they got Victor Wembanyama. They also got Isaiah Collier, who I think was the top pick in the 2024 draft, not too sure. Then they got Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Jonathan Kuminga, man. That's a great addition, man. I wonder if they still got Jeremy Sochan off the bench. I'm not too sure. But let's go ahead and get into this, man. We are going to take this game by game per usual. As we lose game 1. Okay, way to bounce back, boys. There we go. We're up 2-1 now. Yeah, let me go ahead and shorten the rotation, man. I don't even want to risk it here. We are going to make this a 9-man, getting rid of Victor Oladipo's minutes. And let me go ahead and mess around with this real quick. This looks pretty good to me, man. I wanted to get Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe up there to 40 minutes per game. And then the rest of this, man, you know, not a whole lot of PT for the bench. It is what it is. But let's go ahead and see if we can win 2 games against the Spurs here, man. This is a tough matchup, but we're up 3-2 now. Can we force a game 7? And it doesn't look like we can, man. That's tough. Okay, let's go ahead and simcast this thing, man. We're here at home, so you would think that we'd be able to win this game, but let's go ahead and find out. So we are off to a decent start so far. We win that first quarter, okay. We win the second quarter convincingly, man. Yeah, we're pulling away right now. This is going to be a win for the Trailblazers, and here we are in the conference finals once again, and we're going up against the Dallas Mavericks, man. Did we face them last year in the conference finals? I think we did, right? I'm not too sure, honestly. But they got Alperen Sengun now at the 5. That's super interesting, man. No Kyrie Irving, though. It's Luka Doncic, Buddy Hield, Hamidou Diallo, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and Alperen Sengun. I really like the idea of pairing him up with Luka, man. I don't know if that'll ever happen in real life, but that seems like a really nice point guard center duo, man. Either way, though, let's go ahead and take this thing game by game, see if we can make it to the NBA Finals for the second year in a row, as we're actually tied 1-1 right now. I feel like that happens so much, man. We lose the first game, and then we bounce right back and end up winning the series, and that's exactly what happened here. Beating them in 6 games, man, and here we are in the NBA Finals going up against the Indiana Pacers. So they got Tyrese Halliburton, DeAnthony Melton, Benedict Mathurin, Jarris Walker, and Miles Turner. It's a pretty good team, man, but looking at the matchups, I mean, I think we stack up pretty well, bro. Let's go ahead and see if we can win our second championship in 3 seasons, which I did not think we'd be doing in this rebuild, man. But here we are up 3-0, and okay, we didn't clean sweep them, and we actually didn't get a gentleman sweep. All right. Let's not have a game 7, bro. Man, if we lose this game, bro, I am gonna be upset. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we already won our championship, so like it doesn't really matter too much. But like, come on, bro, we're not gonna blow a 3-0 lead here. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more PT here for Jeremy Grant since he's on fire. A little bit more for Claxton, and why not just a little bit more here for Scoot and Shaedon, man. Is that going to be enough to win this thing? Let's go ahead and simcast it. If it is close, then we definitely will jump into it. Haven't done that in a little while, so that would be nice if we could. But hey, man, it's back and forth. We might have a close one here. Come on, man, make a little bit of a push here. There we go, man. We're actually in OT. That's pretty crazy. As I'm gonna stop this thing here with like what, 2 minutes left. Actually, we're starting to pull away, man. I don't think we even need that. Yeah, we are gonna pull away here, man. Dominating them in OT, and the Portland Trailblazers have won a second championship. Wow, man, that is pretty insane. And taking a look at our finals MVP, it is Scoot Henderson for a second time in a row. 2 finals MVPs and 2 championships at the age of 22. Yeah, man, we are officially in the Scoot Henderson era in Portland, that's for sure. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 15 assists, 2 steals, man. He is a monster. Even shot 38% from deep. We will take that. Honestly, man, I'm at a loss for words. I did not think we'd be winning 2 championships in 3 seasons, but here we are, man. And when you look at the roster, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Scoot Henderson, 92 overall. Shaedon Sharpe, 89. Nicholas Claxton, 86. OG Anunoby, 85. Jeremy Grant, 84. Like, bro, this is a really nice starting five here. And then the bench also looks pretty good, man. Yeah, they definitely are set up for the future. They might get a little bit expensive, but this team definitely can compete for a championship for years to come, man. I think this rebuild turned out about as good as I could have hoped for. Honestly, even better, man. I didn't think it turned out like this. But anyways, man, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe. Again, we just hit 2,000 subs on this channel. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support, and if you still haven't hit that button, I'd really appreciate it if you could. But anyways, man, this has been 2KJ. Blessings.